Okay, good morning, everybody. Welcome to this week's virtual plant clinic. My name is Bill Lester. I'm with University of Florida IFAS Extension Service here in Hernando County. And joining me today is our current Hernando County Florida Friendly Landscape Coordinator, Colby Pitts. Good morning, Colby. How you doing?
Good morning. I'm doing well.
And also joining us is our previous Hernando County Florida Friendly Landscape Coordinator and currently Master Gardener Coordinator in Armstrong County, Pennsylvania.
Very good. You got my current title. You get that better than you ever got my previous title when I had Colby's job.
I'm just on a roll this morning, I guess.
Yes.
Really, how are you doing from Pennsylvania?
I'm doing wonderful. The heat wave broke this morning.
It won't break here until about October, maybe.
Oh, I know, but we had, days and days of 90s, pretty hot, but for the next, everything you see on the 10-day forecast, should be highs of 82, 77, wonderful stuff like that.
That's cold.
No.
It's November weather.
Yeah, exactly. No, the highs in the 90s were not, very well handled. Not what we're used to.
Yeah, we got index to about 115 every afternoon.
I heard in Tampa got to 100 degrees for the first time on record. At least the Tampa airport did, yeah.
Apparently, where they take the readings from is right next to one of the runways.
Yeah.
And because of the way the wind was blowing, it was blowing over the runway and then onto the thermometer.
Okay, well, you got all that asphalt there, yeah.
So 100 years ago, when it was nothing but a bunch of trees where they took the temperature, probably makes a little bit of a difference. But
it's still, that's right on the bay. I mean, you have that breeze that should be less hot than inland. So if it was 100 there, imagine what it was.
A big piece of concrete, but either way,
right.
Now we exist with lots of concrete, growing number of subdivisions, more roofs and roads and parking lots and everything else. So
I was going to say, I think Jimmy Buffett covered it, didn't he?
What's
paved over paradise and put up a parking lot and raised the temperature.
That wasn't Jimmy Buffett. That was, oh my gosh. Okay, somebody from the audience is going to have to tell me who that was. Colby's Googling it.
Are you, Colby? Or you don't even know what we're talking about? They paved Big Yellow Taxi song by Counting Crow. That is not it.
They might have done a version of it.
Yeah. They paved it.
But Bassem enjoyed the class that I was a part of yesterday, and I talked about vanilla bean orchids. And I was even going to mention that today. It's great that we have such a loyal group of followers here with our weekly plant or almost weekly plant clinics and other classes, people who follow us from spot to spot to spot. So here, let me go ahead and share this. Yesterday, I was part of an online class. This is something that we've been doing for, I think it's about 4 years now. Every summer doing a series of classes on different fruits. So small fruits, fruit trees, tropical fruits, whatever it might be. I spoke about vanilla orchids, and somebody else, Morgan, spoke about muscadine grapes, and Katie McCormick, who's over in Seminole County, also spoke about lychees and longans. So I was a part of that. So let me go on here, and lo and behold, regular viewer Alessandra was on there. And ask in the comments, where is Bernie?
And she's probably going to be asking that this morning. Where is Bernie, Dr. Bill?
Yeah, I'm not sure if she's on here this morning or not. But for anybody who's wondering where Bernie is, our office in Hernando County is closed for this week because we're getting the flooring redone. And the flooring contractors basically need the whole place. They're making a mess. They told us to get the heck out and go work from home for the week. They're supposed to be done today. We have to go back and move furniture back tomorrow. But Bernie is getting today off. He was not able to come and work at the office because they're redoing the flooring right underneath his desk. And I assume they moved his desk. I wasn't going to help. That thing looked pretty heavy. So we had some people from the county come in to do the heavy lifting part. So
he could have gone up to utilities and sat there next to Colby if Colby was nice. You didn't think of that, did you?
and he may be watching from home today. I don't know.
I thought that song was a Hootie and the Blowfish song, but they covered it.
No,
it's a Joni Mitchell song. But
that's it. Joni Mitchell
the version of that song that I know is a Hootie and the Blowfish cover.
No, it was Counting Crows. Well, maybe Hootie and the Blowfish.
Counting Crows, I think, did a remake.
Right. I don't remember Joni Mitchell doing. I don't remember hearing a female singing it, but
I remember Darius Rucker singing it in Hootie and the Blowfish.
Yeah. Yes. Okay. It sounds like it should be Jimmy Buffett.
Yeah.
He should have covered it.
So, hey, if anybody has any lawn and garden questions, please feel free to go ahead and put them in the chat. Otherwise, I guess we'll keep talking about old music. I'm sure the conversation is going to steer towards invasive lizards and iguanas at some point. They usually come up.
Oh, talk about the bunnies, Bill.
What about
the robot bunnies? You have not heard about the robot bunnies?
Oh, no. I didn't read the article, but I did see a reference to little robot bunny rabbits that they are putting in the Everglades so that the pythons will, what's the idea? They're going to eat the robots?
Did they like explode or something?
No. I think people, when I first heard about it, I thought it was like, The Onion or something that was made up. But then I saw it other places, and I saw it on Popular Science, and it's a UF created thing. So I think the made up part is that the pythons will eat them and explode. I don't think that happens. What happens is the bunny sends data of where the pythons are. And so then the hunters can go and find them. The robot bunnies. I personally,
Dr. Chris Dutton is who that's from. Yes. I just found it.
I personally feel this is how the robots will take over through the bunnies, through the Everglades.
I was expecting it to be a lot more like disconcerting looking, like a robot. It's just a toy bunny.
It is. Yeah, it's a toy. Those toy dogs that move around.
Well, here we go. Hold on.
And they spray it. They spray them with bunny pheromones. They, have found that
I don't like this.
I don't like his eyes. I'm not gonna look. Yeah, when I first saw it, I thought for sure it was completely made up, but it's not. It's what they're doing. And I did read the article in Popular Science, and the researchers have found it is cheaper than, supplying real marsh rabbits, tagging them, having them eaten, all of that stuff. So
yeah, you can look that up online for more information on that one. I was not involved in that research or that program.
No, and I asked Dr. Strickland if
this far north at this point in Hernando County.
I asked Dr. Strickland if he was involved, like through the drone program that he and Brittany take part in, but he said no, but he thought it was really cool.
No, you could have a artificial rabbit with GPS in it and then track it by drone.
Yep. Well, they got to do something. Gives the python indigestion, I bet.
If nothing else, it aggravates them.
What it also made me think of is there was a thing going on a few years ago, and somebody started it as a joke, but that other people then jumped on the bandwagon, believing it. It was a birds aren't real kind of thing, and saying that birds used to be real, but now all the birds are tracking us. People jumped on that, believing that. And I thought, oh no, these robot bunnies are going to get a whole new group of people believing that all the bunnies are tracking us. And you've heard me talk before in my neighborhood here in Pennsylvania. I have an excessive amount of bunnies. So now I have to look at them, and question.
I have them in my neighborhood, but they tend to come and go.
Yeah, I haven't seen any. When we had the extreme high temperatures up in the 90s, the bunnies are hiding somewhere. They don't like those temperatures. Does not deter deer around here. I mean, every time I drive anywhere, it's like avoid the deer video game. They always
have coyotes here in Spring Hill.
Yeah, they always talk about, November, be careful because the males are out, looking for fun. And there's, they have nothing on their minds, not their own personal safety. There's only one thing on their minds. And they say you have to be real careful then. I have personally found that this time of year, when some of the young ones have grown up enough to be on their own, but they don't know what the heck they're doing, like a typical teenager, is more dangerous. I've had a couple of them like hopping around my car like this. How they did not hit me was just through the grace of God. So, and I would say, because I live in a very rural area here, but doesn't matter. They're in the cities too.
Well, goodness knows we get a little bit of everything here in Florida. Here's another one, and I just wrote a Facebook post on this for the National Extension Master Gardener Facebook page, which is going to be posted tomorrow. Let me find, and this is one that I wasn't really familiar with. As if we didn't have enough invasive lizards here in Florida, we now have this beauty here is a panther chameleon. And what they think happened, because these sell for a lot of money, up to $2,000 each on the exotic pet market. So some enterprising resident decided to ranch them, which means is you let some loose, they reproduce in your neighborhood, you go out there and catch them, and then you sell them. And we definitely do not encourage that. That can cause all kinds of environmental damage, ecosystem damage. It's just not really fair to your neighbors. Now we all of a sudden have this new invasive lizard in the neighborhood that people have to deal with, just so that you can free range them and raise them to catch them again in the neighborhood and turn around and sell them. So first time I've ever heard of that.
People involved in any kind of black market, anything, don't really care about what's fair to your neighbors or the environment. But
no, now, I mean, this is, let me get back up to this guy. That's a beautiful chameleon. So for people who are into lizards and reptiles, that one's a beauty there. But
yeah.
Please don't. Just don't.
No. Everything that's messed up on Earth today, I always say this, is because of the biggest invasive species of all. And we are it.
Well, we definitely are the most effective at moving things all over the world now, intentionally, unintentionally.
I bet it's nice and warm down in Pinellas County too, for Cindy.
Sure it is. I think Cindy's close to the coast though, so hopefully she's getting.
Yeah, well, so is the Tampa airport, where it was 100 degrees.
Yeah. Funny thing is, how far do you think Four Corners and Spring Hill is from the Gulf of Mexico?
Like 7 miles.
Like 6 miles, 7 miles, yeah.
Yeah. A lot of the times in the middle of the afternoon to late afternoon, we'll get a breeze here, like a strong breeze. Like sometimes it gets pretty darn windy. And of course, it's always very nice. We haven't really during this heat wave, just a little bit of a hot breeze. But so, yeah, if you live near the coast, you definitely get that breeze, but not always, not guaranteed.
Yeah, breeze like a dryer.
Like a furnace kicking on.
Yes, exactly.
When it's 100 degrees outside, that 88-degree breeze might feel pretty good.
So I have just been asked to be one of the moderators of a Penn State Facebook page. And I've noticed all the questions all week long have to do with people's vegetable gardens, getting everything that particular plant can possibly get wrong with it. Why? Because it's so darn hot. And I'm thinking, maybe in the grand scheme of things, I've been brought here to be the, during this climate change issue, to teach people how to live in extreme heat conditions. And you'll just be, where it's unlivable. A hair dryer. There you go.
Even near the shore in Pinellas County, it's like a hair dryer.
Mm-hmm. And I answered one of the questions. Somebody said they didn't even know what it was. What's wrong with this plant? And it was in a pot, but it was an impatient that he had on his back porch. It just wilted down to nothing. And other people were saying, water it. And I'm like, no. Here's what we learned about impatiens from my Florida living, because I killed some by thinking they needed watered every time they wilted. I told them it's wilting from heat stress.
Yep.
You tell those impatiens, I'll talk to you in the morning. If they're still wilted in the morning, then they need a drink. If not, if they're popped back up, leave them be. And I told him to bring them in to a cooler place since they're in a pot. But yes, impatiens are extremely reactive to that afternoon heat. They'll just blah because they are impatient. But I've killed them before by overwatering them. So
yeah, and they need a pretty shady spot too. I know that.
Yeah. I don't think you even put them in the ground here like you can in Florida. But
yeah. When the label says full sun in Pennsylvania is a little bit different from full sun in Central Florida in the middle of summer.
A difference in the heat, though, and this is just anecdotal on my part. I swear the sun is hotter, like on my skin here, but you don't have that thick air, all around you.
People just a little humid down here. So
yeah, people complain about the humidity here, and I just look at them like, okay. Okay,
hey,
sure.
We have an actual question, guys. Sam asked, are there any plants that lizards love?
Love to eat or love to...
They love plants with bugs on them.
Yeah.
Is the answer.
So they're carnivores. Is that...
Yeah, I know iguanas are vegetarians also. So they will eat literally anything you're growing in your vegetable garden, fruits, everything else. They are a huge problem in South Florida. If we have any around here in Central Florida, they're few and far between. I wouldn't think they're going to do well.
Yeah, iguanas really like leafy greens.
Yeah, the anoles love any plant to run around on, but they're looking for bugs to eat, correct?
They just eat bugs.
Yeah.
Yeah, and pretty bad when your cactus looks bad. But
yes. Poor things. Like I said, here today our heat wave broke. So according to my 10-day forecast, it's going to be beautiful. The highest high that it shows is like 83. It's like, yes. Because also the house is here
for a while.
I have air conditioning, but it's 100-year-old house, and it's not really made to push that AC through very well. So,
Well, they say it's generally most air conditioning units are good for pushing the temperature down 20 degrees, plus or
right.
minus.
Right. I know somebody here whose wife was complaining that
I know.
your house in Florida with a new house with very efficient air conditioning couldn't get it below 77 when it was as hot as it was. There's only so much.
I think a lot of times you'll see with newer houses that they have underspec the AC. So it's like really common. So I've lived the last two houses I lived in. One of them was built in 2011, and the one I live in now was built in like 1973. The house I live in 1973, I put it on 70 in the middle of the day. It bumps up to about 72, and then it's back to 70 for like when you're out of the heat of the day. My other house, once again, left it on 70. It couldn't get below 76, 77 in the middle of the day. Turns out the air conditioner was just not strong enough, not big enough for the house that we had. So
That's
if you're having like that kind of issue where it's you're 7, 8, 9 degrees different from what you set it at, most of the time if your AC is working fine, it's just not big enough, and that's a lot more common in newer houses in my experience than it is in older houses.
Well, this house was built before anybody ever thought about air conditioning, and there aren't any ducts to take it upstairs. I guess because they figured heat rises. They were only concerned about winter. So we have not window units, but what I call swamp coolers. They have like a duct that goes out the window to let the water out, but they're just sitting there. We have to have those, or we wouldn't be able to go upstairs.
Do you have an ceiling fan upstairs?
We have fans, not a ceiling fan. We have fans up there though as well, and a fan pushing it all downstairs and trying to move it around. My husband just put a hole in the wall and he fixed it. He made it nice. He put a vent because we don't know why this was happening, but there was a vent going straight into the bathroom. So the bathroom was one of the coolest or warmest rooms in the house. Like, it's kind of nice in the winter that was warmest, but you still don't spend a whole lot of time in there. So he put a hole there to send that out to the dining area and the rest of the house. He's trying to help things be more efficient. We don't need a wonderfully cool or warm bathroom. The rest of the house needs some help.
When I was a kid, we lived in a house that was built in like 1902, and my room was upstairs. And there's just a random interior door in my bedroom that led to the attic. Mm-hmm. With a metal roof, and it was just like you see, and man, it would get so hot up there, and we ended up finding like this ancient window unit. Like, I say ancient, it was from like the 70s, but it was old for a window unit. Right. And I'm sure this thing was just terrible. Like, could not have been efficient or anything. But
Freon everywhere. Yeah.
Dang it, if my room was not cold when that thing was running.
Well, this heat it's hard on people. It's hard on all the plants out there too. Like I said, for the same reasons that you don't grow many vegetables in the summer in Florida. We've had this 2-week period of very hard times on people's vegetable gardens up here just because of the heat. So this bug, this disease, this whatever, all can take it back to this extreme heat. So some people probably are, they're just going to pull them out and, start again next year.
Well, here every summer we get a couple different questions, at least a couple of them from a few people. Let's see, one I haven't gotten yet this summer is anybody who has killed their entire lawn by putting down weed and feed. Because if you read the label directions, it says don't apply this product when average daytime temperatures are above a certain point. So my guess is with the sunniness and severe heat and heat index, if you use weed and feed on your either St. Augustine or Bahia lawn right now, you probably kill the whole thing, weeds, grass, and everything else in between. And I got a picture somebody sent me the other day. of something that they had in their yard. There we go. And this stuff looks really ooky and nasty. And she had it next to her garden pond. And there's another picture of it. And there's a better, like, farther out picture of it. And she asked, is this algae? What is it? Do I need to chemically control it or scrape it up and burn it or something like that? And what this is technically a plant. It's a very ancient, very basic plant. And the group of plants that it belongs to is called liverworts. Not liverwurst, like old folks up in Pennsylvania buy and put in sandwiches, but a liverwort.
Brunswiger.
And cheese. So this is a liverwort, and every summer we get a couple phone calls or emails about this because it's, believe it or not, a photosynthetic plant that reproduces kind of uniquely differently from other plants. And the problem is it grows in the shade where it's dark and shady and can be very slippery and nasty. So if it's in a little lawn area that stays in the shade all the time, maybe underneath a tree or something like that, it can be dangerous because you're out there doing something or pushing a lawnmower and you may slip and slide in it. So this does not hurt anything. It doesn't kill your grass. It won't kill your pets. It won't injure the neighbors. It doesn't hurt anything. There are technically some chemical controls for it, but as a general rule, if you rake it up and bag it up and get rid of it, it's gone. It's not a problem. You don't really need a chemical control for it. It's not hurting anybody. But for some reason, this time of year is where I get the phone calls and at least one email every year on that one. So that is a liverwort. That is your horticultural lesson for today. So my boss is watching. We can tell her that this is all educational.
It is very educational. I read something, and this is, goes against science-based. So this is anecdotal. But it seems to have worked so far. I had, because I wasn't paying enough attention, some pretty good algae happening in my bird bath, where I actually used a doggy bag, a doggy poo bag to pick it up. It just came up right out of there, this red algae stuff. And then I cleaned it all. But I added about 6 or 8 pre-1982 pennies. And it has not built up the algae. It's been a couple weeks now. The copper.
Yeah, you can. We used to take spools of copper wire and put them in cow troughs to prevent the algae from growing in there. It might be kind of hard. It might be kind of hard to find pre-1982 pennies for someone in their day to day.
I have a jar of pennies, and that we've collected. We put our pennies in, and I just went through them until I found 6 or 8 older than 1982. Because I guess after that they cut down on the
they made a zinc now.
Yeah.
But yeah, so you can also, but that does work. That's a really great tip. I've told people to put it in their rain barrels too. If you're having algae issues in your rain barrels, you just get you a spool of copper wire. It's relatively inexpensive. I don't think it is as inexpensive as pennies though. So pennies is probably a good option. But you can get some copper wire, put it in any type of thing like that.
Well, this thing here, this I ordered, from Amazon, and it came on a cheapy cheap chain. This is a different chain, but I just put it on with the cheapy cheap chain, and you know what happened? My daughter's like, "Your neck is all green." So I changed the chain for this. I took that chain and wrapped it around like the round part inside that bird bath. So it might be contributing, along with the pennies. So anything in a copper wire, it helps. And in Florida, I'm sure you have to change your bird baths every day pretty much. Well, you should change them often for mosquitoes anyway. So
yeah, I'm looking to see if University of Florida has any information on it. Oh, Yeah, they have a blog post on it. Pond management using copper. Copper has been effectively used as an algaecide for algae control and parasite treatment in aquatic systems for numerous years. It easily dissolves in water, is relatively cost efficient, removes both filamentous and higher algae.
I believe you can buy like copper discs to put in your bird baths and things.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like I think I just found one of those $10 on Amazon.
Mm-hmm.
You
Or
can buy a pound of
6
copper. A pound.
cents, like 6 cents, like I put in mine.
You can buy if you're trying to. You can buy a 1 pound copper ingot on or
Ingot.
a bar on
Okay.
Amazon for $30. If you're interested, you want a lot of copper.
Big piece of copper.
Yes.
And see, we're being a benefit to somebody. So
Yes. So another thing that is popping up around here that I had never heard of, so I don't know if you guys have it as an issue. Aster yellows. Guess not. You haven't even heard of it.
I've heard of it and I'm familiar with it. I don't know how commonly asters are grown domestically down here.
Well, it shows up on it shows up on Echinacea and Rudbeckia. Somebody had it on the page that I monitor, the state page, and it's amazing. It can manifest itself in many ways, but this one particular one was a purple cone flower, and it had like 6 or 8 itty bitty little purple cone flowers trying to pop out of the cone head, and that is just how the cells freak out with this particular disease. But apparently it can be pretty destructive for those growing these commercially, and the only thing you can do is take everything out and destroy it before it spreads.
Yeah, no cures for viruses.
Yeah. Now, not all of them are that dramatic or interesting. Sometimes it's the petals fall off or it's misshapen, like with only half its petals. It shows itself in many different ways. But that one Echinacea, like with all these different, look like little versions of itself trying to pop out. It was pretty amazing what the cell duplication or something will do.
Yeah, viruses hijack the DNA and have the plant cells start doing really bizarre things.
Yeah.
Like making really large cells or proliferating cells.
So what's going on with
or growing in crinkled leaves or crinkled plant parts?
And then sometimes they take viruses and keep them on purpose because they like what they do to the plants. You know.
Well, not all viruses that a plant can get are going to kill the plant. Some of them just do kind of bizarre things. Tulips. Classic example is a virus that tulips get, and it makes the tulip flowers variegated petals.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
So hundreds of years ago, over in Holland, where they breed tulips and they're very valuable, worth a lot of money, they started getting these varieties with variegated striped petals that they didn't know how it happened, and they're worth a lot of money. Doesn't really hurt the tulips. The plant's not quite as large or healthy, but it definitely doesn't kill them. But it just does bizarre things to the coloration on it.
It's really interesting with those viruses. A lot of times you'll see like a lot of the symptoms you see have actually nothing to do with what the virus is doing at all. Like you said, it's just the cells freaking out. It's some unintended consequence because like those viruses are, like you said, hijacking the cells and using their like DNA transcription to for the virus's ends, and what that does to the actual plant in its, how it exists is, it's completely crazy, and a lot of times has nothing to do with the with what the virus is actually trying to, the goal of the virus, which is just to make more virus.
Isn't that the same in that, what is that rose disease, that rosella?
Oh, rosette, I think.
Rose rosette, yeah. The
Yeah.
rose itself starts doing all kind of funky things too.
And it gets a huge number of thorns. Like the stems are
Yes.
completely covered with thorns.
Right. And didn't you have one brought into you in Hernando County? Yeah.
Yep.
And it came from who was it now? Oh yeah, my yard. Yeah. That Rosie Rosette. Yeah.
And a virus that causes yellowing of tomatoes. So if somebody brings in a tomato plant and it's like neon yellow, I can tell 15 feet away that's what's wrong with it. And you have papaya ring spot. So even if you go to a grocery store and you look at the papayas, if it looks like somebody took a pen and drew little circles or little commas all over the papaya, it has papaya ring spot virus. Doesn't hurt the papaya. It's still safe to eat it. It's not going to hurt you or me or make it taste bad or different, but it has that virus.
Another thing that is happening here, of course, because we can try anyway to grow tomatoes. Historically, we've been able to grow tomatoes up here at this time of year. Blossom and rot like crazy. So.
Right now at the small grocery store down the road, they have Tennessee tomatoes. So it's the time of year for Tennessee to be harvesting a lot. I'm sure up there in Pennsylvania now, this is end of July. Yeah, this is peak season right now for you too. Right,
but people are commenting on that Facebook page. There's a lot of blossom and rot. There's, what's wrong with various issues, and it just reminds me of when people try to grow tomatoes in June or July in Florida. If there is a bug that a tomato gets, it will get it. Tomato hornworms, we're seeing lots of those.
Oh, yeah.
If there is a disease that a tomato is going to get, they're going to get it. And it's changing now. It's going to be down in the 50s at night. Isn't that fabulous? But we had, a couple weeks where it didn't get below 70. And so we know what that does to tomatoes. They start aborting their blossoms and, you're not getting fruit.
Yeah, that's why even if you can keep your plants alive here in Florida in the summer, you're not going to get tomatoes because above a certain temperature, the flowers just drop off.
Right.
So we got a question or two here. But it's about growing star anise or anise in Central Florida. And I looked, and apparently we can.
Yeah, there's a native Florida species that grows red flowers, and then there's a yellow one.
Anise.
There's a yellow one that I think is just called anise, and then there's Japanese anise, which is white flowers. But I know that they grow that Florida anise. It's all along the coast, like all the way into like Louisiana, even like further out. A lot of the commercial, like the landscapers doing the developments are putting these in. I've seen them in quite a few places, like recently being used, which I think is neat.
I like anise. It's really pretty.
Yeah, it looks like that even includes star anise, which makes the spice that you buy to include
licorice
cooking.
Yeah, that gives it a licoricey.
Yeah.
Yeah, that is a very Pennsylvania thing. They make these pizzelle cookies that you stamp them, and they have a particular like star design on them. It's an Italian thing, and but the anise flavoring is always in those. Those have to be at every wedding.
And Susan mentions that she saw a mature katydid, and they get big. They're 2-3 couple inches, really big, really beautiful insects. They fly really, really well. So if you sneak up and disturb one of them, they'll fly off. They eat plants. They eat plant leaves, but I've never seen one do more damage than eating maybe half of one leaf. You'll find them on your hibiscus, a lot of your different landscape plants. They'll eat 1 or 2 leaves and then they move on. So they don't stick around and cause a lot of damage. Lovers in my yard have never been a problem.
Yeah, Bill and I have had that conversation. That
you said you got holly, right? So then they don't like the holly.
Yeah, they'll
If
show
you
my
have all of one thing that they like, particularly like bulb, what is it, the
amaryllis.
amaryllis and the lily,
Oh, crinum lilies.
rhinum lily, they love
They're
those.
both lilies. They're both closely related. So lovers love them.
Yes. So if you have a whole lot of that, you're gonna be like, they ate my entire landscape. But if you have a good diversity, then they're going to snack on part of your landscape.
I don't, but yeah, katydid's not really a defoliation risk. I don't think, not like a big one. I wouldn't worry about it.
So don't worry, Katie didn't. She didn't eat your your landscape. So are you getting your summer rains, I assume?
Some, but not all that regular, it seems.
There was a period of about a week that it like came down. It's also been raining really late at night recently, which I think is due to it being so hot during the day.
Okay.
But there was like a week where it rained like every day for like 8 or 9 days in a row, and then it's been kind of sporadic light rains since then. But it's definitely not regular.
Shall we tell the youngster the stories of old Florida, where every day from 4 o'clock to 4:20,
oh yeah,
every single day you would get your rainstorm, and we don't know what has happened to make that not be as regular.
I mean, I remember even as a kid, it was every baseball practice. Baseball practice.
Yes.
The field was wet because it wasn't raining when we were practicing, but it was rain. It had rained and it was always wet.
So what I'm getting to is you're getting fairly normal rains. You're getting rains anyway, and I bet you people are still watering their lawns
in the rain.
In the rain.
Oh yeah.
And then they're going to come to you. Why do I have take all root rot?
Why do I have
what
are these little circle weeds I have in my yard? Like, come on.
Oh, dollar weed. Yes.
Just don't water.
I took pictures. I saw dollar weed growing inside Lake Apopka. I mean, on as a water plant, and I tried to show them this is where this plant grows.
Yep.
In
the water.
It's actually a really good opportunity to remind everyone that in the state of Florida, per the state statutes, if you have an in-ground irrigation system, you have to have a functioning rain sensor. You have to have a functioning rain sensor. Now,
functioning being the key word, not one that was put there in 1985.
Mm-hmm.
And that was probably upside down or sideways, or trees growing over
dangling in the breeze.
So I'll be the first to admit my rain sensor does not function. I see the wire hanging out of the side of the house. I rent, right? But I also don't run my irrigation. So if I ran my irrigation, my rain sensor would be working. But it's really good because I know in our county and in a lot of other counties, we have expanded the eligibility for our rain sensor rebate. So if you're in Hernando County and you have an in-ground irrigation system, make sure your rain sensor works. And if it doesn't, give us a call and we'll tell you exactly who you need to contact to get a rain sensor rebate. I know that I don't know exactly how much the companies are charging because that's up to them. But I do know that
the ones that participate try to keep it around the same price as the rebate.
It basically ends up you getting the rain sensor for free or for a very small amount of money because you're getting all that back on your water bill. So be sure to reach out. I know typically this program runs to the end of October, and then it takes a few months to start up. And I know that we get a big influx of these at the end of that period. So right now is a really great time for you to get in and make sure that you can get your functioning rain sensor. Like I said, it's
just for your customers though, right? You're not.
Yes, just for Hernando County utility.
It's a credit on your water bill. You're not mailing checks to people.
I can't give you a rebate on money that you did not give us. The utilities department does not print money, contrary to popular belief.
Yeah, I know.
So, so make sure if you are a Hernando County utilities customer to reach out and make sure your rain sensor is functioning. And if you're not, it's still good practice to have one.
Yeah, if you live
even good practice, it's the law.
It is a law.
Your county to see if they have a program also.
Yeah, and this is a pretty common thing. So I would imagine that other municipal utilities are going to have similar programs.
And wherever you live, be sure to check with your county and your municipality about fertilizer ordinances because they vary from county to county to county. That class that I was on yesterday, they went over Seminole County's fertilizer ordinance, which is very different from ours in Hernando County.
Yeah,
Years ago,
we're working
Go
on developing a calculator to help people. You put in your square footage of the square footage you're trying to fertilize, what species of grasses and all this. And we were using the Seminole one as a base because it is. They do a really good job of their messaging, a really good job of like letting people know up there. But but case in point, though, it is very, very different from ours. Everywhere is pretty much very different from Hernando counties. So it's important that you're familiar with your local ordinances.
years ago, Bill went with me out to visit someone. Her daughter had asked us, please come to my mom's house because her landscaper's telling her, she needs to be watering her lawn with her sprinkler twice a week, which we know is against the ordinance. And anyway, it was the middle of summer. They did have a very lush green lawn already. And by the time Bill and I left, we were completely soaked because we had got caught in a summer rainstorm out there in the yard and trying to explain to them, turn it off until September. You really don't need to be spending the money to be adding that extra moisture, and then you'll have fungal problems. Nature will take care of it for you in the summer in Florida.
And if you're wondering what kind of fertilizer ordinance covers me where I live, University of Florida, Florida Friendly Landscape Program has a phone app. So I believe that you just put in your zip code, either zip code or address, and it will tell you what municipality, because some of these are by county and some of them are by city. And I'm not sure who trumps who, but you can go on there and it will pull up your fertilizer ordinance and the points so that you're not out there.
I can answer whichever ordinance is the most strict is the one you have to follow. See, Colby's shaking his head. That's the way the law goes. The stricter ordinance, city, county, whatever you're in. Here we have boroughs and townships like you won't believe, but there you just have cities and counties.
That sounds so confusing.
It is. And the stricter one is the one you have to obey. Like Swiftmud might have twice a week watering restrictions. Hernando County has once a week. You have to follow the stricter ordinance for the county that you're in.
And typically what you'll see, and this isn't just with fertilizer ordinance, that's with all of any of these ilk of rules. You'll see that normally the state, your higher up ones are going to set a baseline, and then your county and city or municipal rules may be just like the state one and then a little bit more, and this one and a little bit more, and that's normally how that stuff tends to go. But it also can go the complete opposite way where they only have the state one and nothing else. That's how Sumter County, a lot of their rules are, is just, we'll just do whatever the state does. And that's fine. But, you do need to check. You do need to be aware of what the rules are. And I see that Cindy said they take them off the shelf. And that is, I was going to get to that Panilla's ordinance is really interesting because they ban the sale, which I don't know that we can do that here. I'm not sure. I think it would be
there's only a few places where they're allowed to do that because it was grandfathered in.
Mm-hmm.
So you're not allowed to prohibit sales of it in your county because it's state law, a newer state law, I believe. So it's different. Wherever you're at is different from everybody else.
Yes, this Commonwealth thing, I sometimes have a hard time following. I'm in the borough of North Apollo in the Kiski Township in Armstrong County in the state of Pennsylvania. And all of those things want some money from me. So,
Commonwealth of Pennsylvania?
I'm sorry?
Commonwealth of Pennsylvania? Are you a Commonwealth?
Yeah. Yes.
Okay.
It's really interesting. Me moving from Sumter County to Hernando County actually somehow made it less complex because I live in unincorporated. I just live in the county. That's it. That's all I got.
Yes. And that's why people created Spring Hill and moved to it and never wanted to incorporate.
Yeah, we lived in Deltona, and Deltona they did incorporate and become a town, and it was instantly the largest town in Volusia County, population-wise. It costs a lot more, and then when they wanted to have their own police department and fire department,
Mhm.
money, your taxes go way up. So
Well, and having been a Hernando County employee for 24 years, and part of that time I was with the Department of Public Works, and you do get people calling and, from Deltona or, street or wherever, have the city come out and do whatever this very specific thing. And most of the time I was nice, but sometimes I would be like, well, first of all, there is no city. And so, there is no city of Spring Hill. It's just unincorporated Hernando County.
Oh yeah, I see a lot of people in the various Facebook groups talk about, well, the city needs to the city.
Yeah.
I'm sorry.
Brooksville, you have yourself a city. And
yeah,
not everyone.
The only currently incorporated area in Hernando County is Brooksville. There's no other cities.
No, Wiki Wachi.
No, not anymore.
Oh, they unincorporated? Okay.
I think they've been unincorporated for some time, but
probably since the state took over the park, I guess.
Yeah, I'd imagine.
There used to be a city of 11 people.
Mm-hmm.
Yes.
It's really funny. Everywhere else is just something that somebody decided to call it, and you get that's literally it.
Arapika, Nobleton, Masaric Town.
Yeah, and coming from Sumter County, I mean, we had a few cities. I lived in a city. I lived in city limits, which looking back is like kind of nuts. But there's even that's a trend really in Florida. Is there many of these rural communities are unincorporating because they rely on county services for everything anyway. I know the city of Webster that where I'm from still exists, but they don't have a police department. I don't think they have a fire department.
Oh, Brooksville doesn't have those things. They might have a fire department still, but
they have a fire department, but they don't have a fire department.
They got rid of the police department, just pay the county sheriff.
Mm-hmm. Right. And that's what every place in Center Hill or Wildwood may still have a police department, but every other place in Sumter County doesn't have a police department anymore either. They were phased out in favor of the sheriff's department taking over everything, which I think is the trend throughout the entire state.
Look at Duval County is the city of Jacksonville. It's all one thing.
See that also super confuses me because there it's like they do the county of Jacksonville and the city of Jacksonville do exist and they are the same entity, but at the same time they're still split somehow. I really like weird stuff like that, like the workings of municipal government.
Sure, both of them tax you.
Yeah. Right.
Yeah. Yes.
Okay, guys, if anybody has any last minute lawn and garden kind of questions or katydids or whatever else is on your mind, go ahead and put them in the chat and we'll do our very best to go ahead and answer them.
If Bill, you want to come up and get some spotted lanternfly, we have plenty around here now. I know you want to add that to your collection.
Yeah, I don't have it in my collection.
They're pretty much here for the picking if you want to come and get some.
I'm not sure their current status off the top of my head here in Florida.
Penn State hasn't quite come out yet, because it's a grad student's study. So, it's going to have to be vetted for the next 10 years. But we almost got out of here without talking about poo. But here we go. This grad student study, she's studied various types of guano and has found quite a bit of it in a certain type of bat's feces, a whole lot of spotted lanternflies. So I can't remember the type of bat that is now targeting and eating the spotted lanternfly that is an invasive insect up here in the Northeast. So could be good news. That it just took them a while to catch up that, hey, this is an edible thing.
Yeah, that happens with some invasives. Eventually, native insects, animals, whatever it may be, finally try them and figure out, hey, they taste pretty good. It didn't kill me. I'm going to start feeding on it. So sometimes invasives can become naturally under control to a certain extent by.
We are still encouraged to squash and kill and destroy every single one that we see. So
Mechanical control means.
mechanical control, which I have a pair of muckers, which are just a little bit too big that I wear in the yard. So they're easy to whip off and there you go. But I usually apologize to it first because it's not its fault. Again, it's our fault that, things got out of control.
Well, I still take most of those things and just toss them over the fence. Lubbers. Lubbers are the only thing.
Lubbers are not an invasive. They're native, aren't they?
Yes, lubbers are native.
So there you go. Yeah.
But
these spotted lanternflies are beautiful.
Sometimes I throw them over the fence.
Yeah, the spotted lanternflies are beautiful, but and they love this particular tree of heaven, which itself is an invasive tree. So we've got an invasive eating up the invasives. Not necessarily a bad thing, but they also go after grapevines, which is a very big problem as you get up in the Erie area where there's a lot of, commercial grapevines.
My time doing invasive plant control kind of taught me it's like it's such a systemic issue that I don't think it's worth squashing the poor little guy. So I normally just whatever it is, I just let him go.
Here you go, Bill. I can't let you have this because it belongs to the office, but here it is. What I have here.
Oh, wow. Nice job. Nice job mounting them.
Yeah. It was here when I got here. And, because this is dried out and everything, they're a lot brighter, a lot prettier than that. Yep, in New Jersey, you're supposed to kill them. Here, you're supposed to kill them. New Jersey sent them to us. By the way, I don't have too many in the yard. I've seen about 2, but Pittsburgh is like you walk on the sidewalk. It's like squish, squish, squish. Yeah.
And Cindy says that Pine Island is reopening today. I think they have a ceremony tomorrow, Friday morning.
So do you have any hurricanes out in the Gulf?
Thankfully, not yet. Everyone, this has been a big thing for a lot of people in the county. I get, it comes up even when I'm talking. It's like, do you think I have anything to do with when Pine Island is open?
Yeah, it takes a while to rebuild something. You just have to be patient.
So I'm glad that it's fixed so that our residents can enjoy that again.
Get there at dawn if you want in.
Yeah, because they do. PSA they do close it when it gets full. So you do have to get.
I have a feeling it's going to take 5 minutes.
Yeah, if you've ever been to Buccaneer Bay, when school's out, it's like that. So show up early. Yeah.
Cindy, you have much nicer beaches where you are.
Yeah.
But no, Pine Island, I'm sure is very, very, very nice, but Pinellas has nicer beaches.
Well, up there in Pennsylvania, you can always go to the beach, can't you?
Yeah, we can. We have lakes. People go over to Jersey Shore.
Ocean City, Maryland, and the water's kind of brown.
In fact, they have memes that say, there's ocean elsewhere other than Ocean City. They show to Pennsylvanians. Where most people in this southwestern Pennsylvania, Myrtle Beach, it's like that's their thing. You go to Myrtle Beach, I think most of the people are from southwestern Pennsylvania. There or Florida, anywhere in Florida.
Yeah, I've never been to Myrtle Beach.
No, I haven't either. But the Outer Banks. That's where they really love. They have OBX stickers like everywhere. So, places I can drive to in a day, basically.
So I guess mostly you just travel to Pittsburgh and have some Scrapple and Cold Iron City.
Scrapple's the others. I'm going to be going to, not all the way into Pittsburgh, but to the Allegheny County Extension Office on Monday to review their, what you call a plant clinic. It's called a hotline up here, because this office doesn't have one. And I'm going to create one. So.
What, you're not the hotline? They don't just call you and fill up your email inbox? And
They do. And I have learned what master gardeners can answer what, so I just send it on to them. But in the absence of a coordinator, the secretaries here would just send it out to the listserv of all master gardeners and hope somebody would answer it. We need to get more organized than that, and we are working on it. So yes, and I've answered some. Like I sent Dr. Lester because I thought he might know what this particular fungus was, but I figured it out on my own first, and he didn't know it because you don't have it. A black knot fungus on a plum tree. Nothing you can do about that either. But
plums in Florida, but I've never heard of that problem with plums.
Yeah, well, I'm thinking because they do it commercially here, so there is way more prunus, plum, cherry, whatever, way more around. You just have basically the wild trees, so that there's more opportunity for the fungus. It puts this like black foam, all up the stems and trunks, and nothing you can do. If you catch it early, you take those branches off. If not, other than that, you got to get rid of the whole tree so it doesn't spread. Called black knot, K-N-O-T fungus. So I'm learning all kind of cool things.
Oh, yeah, so am I. It's come up every day.
Yes.
Okay, guys, looks like it's pretty much about that time, and I don't see any other questions in the chat. So thank you so much for joining us today.
And the Superstar Bernie.
I'm going to be here next week.
Superstar Bernie should be back next week.
Yes, the office will be reopened, and Bernie will be back enjoying the new flooring underneath his feet. And hopefully we set his desk where he wants it and the phone and everything else. So, but he'll be back, and I'll be back. And
see, what I really need for my hotline, I need me a Bernie who loves to come in and learn stuff and research. And
you cannot have ours.
I mean, come on, like just in the summer. You can have him for the winter. We can split Bernie.
Okay, well, like I said, thank you so much, everybody, and thank you, Cindy, for being able to join us here today. And we will be back here again next Thursday. So just follow us on Facebook and find the link and go to our Facebook page at 10 a.m. next Thursday to rejoin us and go ahead and write down those questions. Pardon me?
I'll be in a school next Thursday at 10 o'clock, so I won't be able to be with you.
Oh, okay. Well, we'll have Bernie back. So
okay, yeah, it'll be much more exciting. And I'm gonna start looking. I'm gonna start looking for summer homes for him up here, so he can run my hotline for me.
He'd be one of your master gardeners for half the year and one of ours for the other half.
Yes.
Okay, well, you have to talk him into that one. So
I think I'll have to talk Sue into that one.
Yes. Okay, well, thanks again, everybody, and we will see everybody again next Thursday. Until then, everybody take care. See ya.
Thank you.